Okay, hey everybody, and welcome to Chew Stream, where we talk about art and life as an artist. I'm your host, Bobby Chiu, and today is Portfolio Review webinar. I'm going to be going over some pretty amazing portfolios, so this would be a nice opportunity for me to shine the light onto some of these artists that I've discovered, and also help out some artists as well. Okay, a bunch of the artists today are actually professional, I believe. So I'm very excited to welcome a bunch of y'all. And Beto, is that how you pronounce your name? Oh, oh. So yeah, you might want to put on your headset, whoever that was that had the YouTube coming out. Uh, Seems okay now. So it's Beto. Is that your how you pronounce it?
Oh yeah, it's me. It's here.
Fantastic, fantastic. Let's start off with Beto. And first, I'm just going to go and show some of his work. It's wonderful. You know, one that I really liked, well, I liked a bunch of them. Oh, there we go. Hannah. Hello, Hannah. Yeah, lovely stuff from Brazil, Brazilian artist here. Wonderful. Um, Overall, I look at it and I go, okay, this person wants, does fantasy illustration. That's your interest. Um, Perhaps like Magic the Gathering kind of stuff. Perhaps some games,
Of
you know,
course.
I think. Yeah, welcome, Hannah.
Hi. Nice to meet you guys.
So I'm just going over Beto's stuff right now. And yeah, let's go straight into the paint over, okay? Actually, yeah, let's do that. Okay, so this is the painting that I want to take a look at today. I chose this one because I like this one the most. And that's how I kind of choose things. Somebody was saying, oh, yeah, you probably choose the portfolios that you don't like. And then you paint over those. So I hope you don't like my portfolio and you choose me. But actually, I prefer to choose the ones where I'm like, "Oh, what do I do here? You know, where they're really quite good. So, of course, everything that I say and anybody says, breathe it in. If it doesn't make sense to you, I would actually say ignore it, with everything. But if it does make sense, okay, this is the caveat here. If it does make sense, then you should do it and you must do it. You owe it to yourself. Okay, so here we go. First thing I did was I looked at this image. I'm like, ugh, this would be a very tough scene. Why? Because you have these lily pad flowers that are glowing in a very bright day. You don't see lights very well in a bright day. So that's the big challenge here. And you can see a lot of the brightness on her face, and it's not coming from these lily pad flowers. To me, these flowers, that's what it's all about, right? That's the big story here. So I want to turn down the contrast, okay? I wanted to show where this intense light goes to and that it ends down there, okay? And then from there, I darken the foreground, right? And when I darken the foreground, those lily pad flowers show up even more. And then the ears, there's not going to be any subsurface scattering, or not much anyways, because I'm saying that the light doesn't actually hit her directly. Okay, then time to bring in the light, because that's what this story is all about. It's all about these magical flowers. That was my kind of interpretation, and so the last little bit helps to divide the background from the foreground, because if you look at this, it looks good. You go down like this, it starts to lose its power, right? But if I go like this, then all of a sudden she comes out a lot more. And then we have, hopefully, we have an effective magical flowers that glow but it's in really bright light. This was very challenging, so thank you, Beto, for giving me a very good challenge.
Okay.
Okay, so great job. Let's go on to the next one. Let's see what else I had over here. Oh, Edgar, your turn. Amazing. Now this one, this is like one of those where I was just like, I just want to look. I just want to breathe it all in. Super friggin' cool. And this was for Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, this is what I want to do in the future. I'm working so hard every day, and it's like, I don't know, it's a job, but it's a dream too, because I played since I was a child, and I don't know, I love
Fantastic.
it.
Well, I really love your portfolio because you could tell what you want to do. And if you told me that was for Magic the Gathering and that's the card, I would believe you. So
Thank you.
yeah, I feel like you're doing great.
Yeah,
Great.
well, I'm trying different things,
Yes.
but
Wizards of the Coast. What's up?
yeah.
Call up, call up Edgar. He is incredible. Totally ready, in my opinion. Okay, so enough of the compliments. Let's go to the paint over because this was challenging. I chose this one because it was my favorite one, and it was the one that I was like, "Wow, this is a Magic the Gathering illustration." That was my assumption. Okay, so love it. Now, here are the things that I would do differently with this. It's kind of like the same situation as Beto, right? Beto had bright lights. You also have bright lights, right? And you have this glowing hand. The glowing hand to me is the story.
Yeah.
Currently, the story is kind of about his face almost. So the other thing I want to mention here is everybody just zoom out. Zoom out, breathe it in. What are you looking at? How much are you looking at it? What order are you looking at things?
Where's
And
the shape of the head, maybe?
exactly. But like, what order do we want to look at things, right? And so for me, there's a bunch of attention that's coming from that top left-hand corner that I don't want. Because it's like every time I look here, I start to look up or something like that.
Yeah.
So I just took that away. You see, and that framing really helps to all of a sudden bring out the body and start to bring out the hand a bit more. Okay, and that's what it's all about. It's like observe your illustration and think about what's the most important stuff. And currently, where do my eyes go? How fast do they go there? Right? So I turned down the background a bit, just a bit, because I want some values. I want some values to work with in the foreground. And if I use bright colors in the foreground, you won't really notice it as much because of the background. So I turned that down. Okay, next part is, yeah, I darkened the whole thing, but don't worry, we'll bring them back. I darkened this whole entire thing because you see these colors here, Edgar?
Yeah.
They don't reflect the green light. So, you could do it like this, and I've seen it like this, and they become, illustrations and magic cards and stuff, and it's a style. But for me, I was like, this stuff looks professional. What I could do for Edgar is just do it my own way. Okay? So I darkened the lights on the body. Boom.
Yeah.
Where are we looking at now, right? Now you see where I'm going with this.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
over here is just to colorize it even more. It's pretty much the same thing. Okay, we're making this really glow. And then,
Yeah, I know what you want.
right? And then I darken the palm a bit so we can really see the silhouette of the hand. Made it glow even more with a good old color dodge. And then brightened up the face because we really want that face to stand out.
Yeah.
Right? So a little like before and after. It's quite a different idea kind
Yeah,
of.
it's a different idea, but I think that it works too. It's super cool. I really
Well,
like it.
and I like your stuff, so mutual, right? Great job. Great job. And
Thank
this
you.
one was like this, and then like this. So I'm really trying to, look at everybody's stuff and take in their ideas, and I'm trying not to change it too much. I want to go with your ideas and see where we can go with it, see how I might do things. Okay. Now this one is Hannah. I'm not sure if this is Hannah M or.
Yeah, yes,
Oh, okay.
it is.
Wonderful. And Hannah, where are you from?
I'm from, well, I was born in Korea, but I should say I'm from America because I lived in here for longer.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I forgot to ask Edgar, where are you from?
Barcelona.
Fantastic. So we got Barcelona, we got America, we got Brazil. I don't know if Bright has a microphone. Uh,
Yes,
oh, you do.
yes, I do.
Well, I could barely hear you. Where are you from?
I'm from Accra in Ghana.
Wow. Awesome. Ghana. Fantastic. This is
Yes.
very international here. So, okay, great. So, Hannah, what do you currently do?
I just graduated from school to 2020
Wonderful.
school of
Congrats.
2020 of Art Center College of Design.
What a year to
Um,
graduate.
I know, right?
I
Um,
graduated right after 9/11. So, some similarities where it's like, okay, the industry is like, okay, I don't even know what we're going to do.
yeah, exactly. That's currently my situation right now. I don't even know.
Well, I think you did the right thing because you came over here and, you got me. I got your
Uh,
stuff out here.
Thank
So,
you so much.
yeah, absolutely. So, I want to talk about this a little bit. Where do our eyes go here? And everybody kind of like just relax your eyes a bit, look at it, and go, okay, where did my eyes go? And what is the story here? So for me, my eyes kind of they go over here to um, this the girl holding the thing over here, and then I'm assuming this is her mom, and she's going kind of like back and forth and all around. And you know what? Which one is the focus? Is it her or is it the mom? What was it in
Mm,
your mind, Hannah?
Well, I wanted to show that so this is a story, the story in this piece is about daughter and mother relationship, and the mother is struggling, but the daughter doesn't have any way to help, so she is just
I totally
watching her
get the
and
story. I totally get
yes.
the story, Hannah. Now,
Thank you.
um, I'm gonna press you a little bit.
Okay.
If you didn't think about it, that's totally fine too. Where is your eye supposed to go first? In your
Um,
mind, where was it supposed to go?
Mother, I would
Mother.
say.
Okay,
Yeah.
mother and then daughter.
Yes.
So I was thinking daughter and then mother because it's like, oh, this girl's distraught or she's concerned.
Mm,
What is she
yeah.
concerned about? Oh, the mom. That was the story in my head, so that's how I kind of played this out. So the first thing I did was this window is where the light, a lot of light is coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So generally, this wall should be the darker wall. The ceiling should actually be brighter.
Mm,
Because if you imagine, it's like a lot of this light is coming in, it's coming downwards. It's going to hit the ground a little bit and it's going to bounce up. Right? And where it'll bounce less, far less, is on this wall.
right.
Because it needs to go all the way to this wall and bounce back. So I just darkened that. Okay, and I wanted to also kind of cool down a lot of these colors because I wanted it to reflect her. Sad, concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Right, next thing is I just darkened it more because I was like, it's not sad enough. So I was like, I'm going to put her in some like real darkness. And then I was like, these colors here against this wall is almost like a transition between this area in the other
Mm-hmm.
room and this area. But you have this big bright light here. And again, it's like, I guess, it's funny because last week it was kind of like all about furry creatures, furry things, or hair. This week, it seems to be all about artificial lights, or like minor lights and like a bright outdoor. So with that in mind,
Oh, cool.
this, right, it separates everything.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes like even darker. So what does the separation do? It also subconsciously, for the viewer, separates her from the mom. Like, she wants to help, but she can't. The mom is in a totally different situation. That's the idea in my head. Okay, so a little before, and it feels a little bit more mixed, right? The tension is kind of going all over. And then after, it's a bit more like clear,
Yeah. It's more unified.
Yeah, just a little bit more simple. There's a lot of things going on, and we want to simplify the story here and have people be able to really absorb it very quickly. And in this case, have the lights being symbolic to what these characters are feeling and the situation itself.
Mm-hmm.
Sound good?
Oh, this is great. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And then Bright, my man Bright over here. Holy smokes. Okay, you know what? I need to bring out your stuff because, again, it's like, obviously you're a professional. Yeah?
Would I say that?
Are you serious? Oh my goodness. Okay. Holy cow. Are you serious? Wow. Because, like, no joke, I was like, okay, this person's obviously professional. And at first I was thinking, maybe I should just show his stuff and say congratulations.
No.
I'm serious because, like, here's another one. Like, what am I gonna say about these things? It's really, really well done.
Thank you.
Do you have like a social media? I'll plug it for you right now if you want.
Yes. My Instagram
I'd love to check
is
it
my
out.
name. The name I put on the image.
Okay, this is cool.
That's my first and last name.
Fantastic. Well, Bright from Ghana definitely deserves a follow. That's for sure. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Yeah, see, you are a professional. 24,500 followers. Dang. Good for you. Wow. And what do you do for a living?
Right now, I just paint.
For like magazines, for television, for...
There isn't that much of that kind of work or client from here. So a lot of the things I do is just my personal experiments.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I I think you definitely... Hopefully we can shine some light on you and
Thank you.
yeah, because
Thank you.
a big kind of thing that I love to do is really just shine the light on all these artists that I love and respect, and this is one of them. You're one of them. Holy
Thank
cow.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt. Jeez. So, okay, yeah, brilliant. What the heck? Let's go to your painting here. You had some really awesome ones. So, Bright.
Yes.
Of course, the portrait is, it's flawless. It looks fantastic. The dove was like, I could pick on the dove maybe, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So, that and the idea of the background being kind of feeling separated from the character. That was the other thing I really wanted to kind of touch on. Okay, so
Okay.
let's put a little blue over top of everything, and it all of a sudden kind of merges everything together.
Okay.
You know, it gives a slight bluish influence onto the reds, onto the donkey, onto all these areas. And then what I did was I just painted out the areas that I didn't want that blue to affect as much. Okay, so the dove, right? The dove is pure and it's beautiful, and so took away a lot of that color. And then on the face as well, you can see like it almost paints a face.
Okay.
And then, you know, just so that the dove stands out more.
Okay.
Then this, which helps to kind of bring in a bunch of those tones together and something to this effect. That's how, you know, there's dirtiness around the corners here. I did it quickly, but if you can kind of like, it just, the clouds I felt were a little distracting.
Too many colors.
Yeah, a little bit too distracting, I think. And you know what, like I said, I was looking at it and I was like, yeah, this looks professional. I don't even know what to really talk about here. So this is what I did. Maybe we should actually turn it down a bit and do a little bit of both, you know, and show yours a little bit more. Beautiful. Fantastic, Bright.
Thank you. I haven't really ever trained to illustrate professionally, and so a lot of the things I do is picked up learning from more accomplished artists, and so I guess the way you see is totally different from the way I do.
Wow.
And yeah, I'm just happy that I'm having a more accomplished artist look at my work and just point out things to me that I can look at.
Yeah, this is incredible. This is incredible. Like, you're professional. You know, you're at a very good professional level. And I hope everybody can hopefully, you know, let's all follow Bright and let the world know, because all they need to do is know, and then you'll start getting jobs. Pretty darn sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Here's Abee. Okay, Abee is not here today, but this person does modeling. Not photographic modeling, but, you know, 3D modeling. So I wanted to just do a little kind of draw over. I'll show this one quick. It's the head shape. Okay, and then like this. So what did I change here? I changed a bunch of stuff. I took out those hairs on the top of the head because I was saying in another portfolio review thing before, I was like, that would be like the worst haircut ever if somebody took the top of my head and chopped off the hair and then left everything else long. Oh my God, I would be furious. I would like put them on blast on like social media or something and ask for my money back. I probably wouldn't do that, but I would want to do that. Okay, and then I also put these little ribbons on the side here because it just felt like it needed something to tie it together, you know? The next thing that I did here is, you see the eyes? I just felt like everything was too spaced out. Okay, like the overall spacing of each feature was a little too even. So I brought down the eyes. You see that? I brought down the eyes and brought the nose. I think I kept that pretty almost the same. Almost the same, slightly lower. And then the mouth, I made it slightly smaller. Now that's not always the case. I'm not gonna always make the mouth smaller. A lot of times I make it bigger. But in this case, I'm looking at Abee's idea and going, what is this person trying to achieve here? When I look at the eyes, I think this person's trying to achieve big eyes, right? That's the purpose. The nose, is it big, medium, small. And I hate saying medium because medium means normal. Normal means average. Average means boring. Right? So I go, yeah, maybe it feels a little bit medium, but I think it's leaning towards a larger nose. Right in the mouth, do I feel like the person's trying to say small mouth, big mouth? I felt small mouth. So that's exactly what I did. And I put on a necklace just because felt like it needed more stuff. I would have kept going. This person has this kind of like shawl thing here, which is extra. It's an extra thing, right? And then it has like this extra cuffling or cuff here. So I was like, all this other space needs extra stuff as well. It needs a waistband. It needs like some strings or something to tie the pants so that they don't fall down, things like that. Yeah, I just felt like I needed a lot more stuff, like maybe a slight little accents, some jewelry, some bracelet. I don't know. But yeah. That was that one. So, before, right? After, I'm not really changing too much. I'm trying to go with this person's idea. So you can see that it's like a lot of ideas. It's like, as long as they're good, you're probably super close to having something really awesome. You just need a little tweak here and there. So hopefully this will help Abee. Okay, and this person, I do not know how to pronounce this person's name. Ofoegbu? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have even tried. I shouldn't have even tried.
Ofoegbu.
What is it?
I think it's Ofoegbu. I think it's
Ofoegbu.
Nigerian. It's
Oh,
Nigerian.
okay. Thank goodness you're here, Bright. Okay, so
Close neighbor.
okay, awesome. So this person, I was just thinking, okay, first that perspective, we need to move the perspective, right? And a little bit of lighting. It doesn't take that much, right? And this right here, this was simple. This was just me grabbing a bit of the sky. I'll turn this down. All right. Just grabbed a bit of the sky. And I laid it down. I go, too blue. I go 40%, maybe a little bit better. Maybe if I did this, brightened it a bit because I didn't like that 40%. It was too dark. And maybe once I brighten it, I'll lower the saturation because the first time I didn't like how saturated it was. All of a sudden I have this color and I go, okay, I could work with that. I drop it. I drop this color, undo, change my brush settings so it's exactly what I want, and then I can paint in something a little nicer, something that will fit in a bit more. And it has a bit of that influence from the sky. Right? Kind of like what I did with brights here, the very first layer, just adding that blue. So everything has a slight blue influence. It just helps to kind of tie everything in. And there you go. Cool. So got through a bunch of stuff, which is great. And now we can have some extra time and just I could answer any questions, things like that. If you guys have any questions here, you guys have microphones, so you could ask them. And then I can demonstrate whatever you want. Let me just set up a new canvas over here. And for everybody in the Zoom call, feel free to ask your questions and I will try to get to as many as possible. Let's just do that. Okay. So you guys have any questions at all?
Well, can you hear me?
Yeah.
My question was already answered, but I think I missed something in the process.
Okay.
When you were doing the blue sky on the red building.
Uh-huh.
I confess I have problems with doing bounce light and
Oh,
to
right.
the right color on skin on different materials, and that's quite hard for me. I struggle a lot with that.
Let me bring out something here. Let's make sure I don't accidentally show some movie files or something. I'll bring out a little kind of fun thing here. Here we go. All right, so this is something for an upcoming class, but here's a good exercise to do. Try to paint it like a porcelain thing first. You know, this is totally taking too many steps, but this is also separating every step that you need to do so you can observe it and look at it and really start to understand it a lot more. So in the class that I'm doing, you know, it's like you're essentially doing this as like a coloring book. You're going to color this thing however you want, right? It's pretty fun. So green, whatever. And then I put in some other colors and such. And then I did a shadow. Warm light. This is what I want to show you, these two things, okay? Now, this shadow here has an influence of blue, right? You guys could feel that. It's a cool shadow. This has an influence of like a golden yellow, right? Let's just do this. I'm going to make a new layer. Hue and saturation. Super simple. I'm going to go colorize. This is going to be the simplest way to, figure out bounce light or whatever you want to do. So say this is the light that is bouncing all around. Then I'm going to go, okay, let's try to find that blue. Right? And once I find that blue, there it is. I'm going to look at it and go, okay, yeah. Is it too saturated? Is it not saturated enough? Is the tone too bright? Is it not bright enough? It's definitely too bright. Okay, and what I'm thinking here, by the way, is in the end, I'm going to turn this down so that the colors come back, right? Because we don't want to make a blue thing. We just want that blue color, right? All of a sudden, it does feel like it's in the shadow, right, of something, and it's still flying in the sky, and it's being influenced by all that blue light. Okay, well, say I inverse my layer mask. And I'm sure you guys know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to paint in the areas that I want this blue light to show up, right? I'm going to paint in white so that it's being revealed. And now you can start to feel this blue light hitting this guy, right? And it might feel funny at first, okay? For some people, it might feel funny. It's like, yeah, that doesn't feel right yet. Well, keep going. Because if it's logical to you, keep going. A lot of times, it's like, it doesn't really feel like that thing yet until you put it everywhere. Like highlights, a lot of times, I get that kind of feeling where it's like, at first, that highlight doesn't feel right to me. But once I put in the other highlights, then it feels right. Just like this. Super simple, and you can get a lot out of just this little thing here. Right? And you could do the same thing with hue and saturation. You could also change the mode here, right? You can do multiply if you want on this adjustment layer. And then the hue and saturation, you can go screen. And that's exactly what I used, actually. I used screen. right? And then after this, I copied everything. So what I did was make a new layer. I'm gonna press Control A to select all, Control Shift C to copy merged, Control V to paste, and now you can see that something has been pasted into my layer. Now I could go to levels, or I can go Control Shift Alt L, auto contrast. Or if you don't like shortcuts, you can go up here and go Image, auto contrast. Okay, and now we've brightened up the sky, and the sky is nice and saturated as well. This guy, however, he's still missing the light, right? It's still missing that intense light. So why is that? It's because when we did that auto contrast, what we did was we asked the computer to take our values and stretch them to the extremes. Okay, so the sky, every tone on the hippo is actually darker than the sky. So it grabbed the sky colors and went, boom, you're all the way over here. The bright hippo colors, you guys are over, on this area right here. And what we want to do is we want to push these values to the same kinds of values, much closer to the sky. Okay, so I can just control click on that original guy right here. So now I've selected him. Control Shift C, of course, that does copy merged. So it copies everything within the selection that we see. Paste. So now I pasted this guy right on top, but you can't see it until I move it. Okay, it's there. And now I'm gonna go auto contrast again. I'll just do it this way this time. And now that brightness has bumped up, and now it feels right. Does that make sense? Right, and you're probably like, dang, I'm gonna try that later. That's pretty simple. I get that. Yeah, a lot of times it's like you just need somebody to tell you, and give you a little seed where you can go, oh, I can apply that to this and this and this and this and this and this and this in a million different ways, and then all of a sudden you level up, and it really is that easy. Why don't we go to a question here. So this person, Jan or Jan, says, hi Bobby, how can I get to talk for a question later, or is it just for the people already on the stream? Well, we only have about 20 minutes left. So yeah, why not? Any attendee that wants a microphone, raise your hand. I'll give you a microphone. I see a bunch of people right now. I'll give you all microphones. And try not to all talk at once. Just say hi, and then, hopefully you're the only person that said hi, and then you could say whatever.
Hello?
Hello, who's this?
Hello. Yeah, I'm Azalya.
Awesome, and where are you from?
Yeah. I'm from Bali, Indonesia.
Oh, awesome. Wow, what an international group we have here. This is great. Did you have
Thank
a
you for
question or anything? Oh, my pleasure.
yeah,
My pleasure.
I have some questions. Sometimes when I make some design, I'm getting confused how to make the darker side and the bright side. And then it comes to I feel like it doesn't have any values on it. So
Oh,
do you have
kind of like this in the beginning.
yeah, like that. Sometimes when I want to make the scenery, like the bright scenery, I getting confused how to make the darker side, the shadow.
Yeah, so this will come in handy for anybody with that kind of situation where it's like, I kind of have a hard time using the big values, right? And big value changes. Sometimes it could be intimidating. sometimes it could be really weird to use blue onto something that you know isn't supposed to be blue, like it's not a base color of blue, that kind of thing. So let me try to give somebody, or give you guys something that everybody can use, okay? This is, and I recommend, if anybody wants to go further with this, Dice Tsutsumi, Robert Kondo, they teach painting with light and color on schoolism.com. This is where I learned and started to adopt HSB sliders. There's all sorts of different kinds of sliders you can use, okay? You can have a cube, you can have all sorts of stuff. You can have circles, triangles. I use HSB sliders because this is hue, saturation, and black, or value, you know, darkness, brightness. I like using this because it really, it's essentially, oops, I showed you a nighttime version. Maybe we could talk about this too. I'll talk about that later. But yeah, essentially that's what I did here, right? I did values separated from the color, which is hue and saturation at the same time. So that's why this really makes a lot of sense to me, okay? So now let's, oops, I keep doing that. Okay. Let's talk about value design, which, by the way, I always want to give credit where it's due. Value design, the person that really made me think about this was Nathan Fowkes, his class, painting with light and color on Schoolism. Yeah, I hope it's okay. I'll plug Schoolism a little bit. These are all classes on Schoolism that you could totally take. Okay. So say this is black. This is white. So 100%, 100%. What we want to do, or what we don't want to do, is have some of these values, some of these values, some of these values, these values, you know. You don't want to do this. Because you're not really saying anything too exciting, too special. You know what I mean? Like, what you want to do, if it was like this, right, and you went to your levels, you would see nothing but the same evenness all over the place. And that's not very interesting. Right? You want to see stuff where it's like, let's back this up a bit. You want to create something more along like this much values over here, and they get really big, and maybe it's like this, and then there's values here, and then maybe there's like some values here. All of a sudden that gets exciting. Okay, so to put it into more layman's terms, maybe this is 95, right? If you pulled this to 95, and this would be like, oops. This would be maybe 91. Okay, and over here, this would be maybe 55, 50, 45, 60, 63. Oops. Okay, and these values over here, this would be 90, or sorry, more like 10, all the way to maybe 18 or something like that. And then what you want to do is stay within these ranges. And if you stayed within these ranges, you're going to create something a lot more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look
Okay.
at your character, like if I went to this one here and
Oh, Bobby, so I'm sorry.
yeah.
Can you take a look at my art?
Oh, yeah, sure. Good for you for speaking out, speaking up,
Yeah,
taking the
because I
opportunity, right?
have some, yeah, because I have some example of my question.
Okay, okay, let's do that. Let's
Yeah,
do that.
you can check it on my Instagram.
Okay. What's your
Uh,
Instagram?
it is Hi Azalya. It pronounced H-I-A.
HIA.
Yeah.
And that's it?
Z
Z?
Z. Yeah. A
Yep.
L
L. Okay. Keep going.
Y
Okay. Y. Yep. Keep going.
A.
Is it this
Yeah.
one? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So maybe I'll just go with the very first one. Okay. So I'm going to grab this screen grab and say we put it here. And then I'm going to just crop. I'll make this image nice and big. Yeah, while I'm doing that, I see another question for through Zoom. Do you think it's okay to still send a portfolio to a company not hiring artists for your specific specialization for the sake of making them aware that you exist? Heck yeah, Olivier. Heck yeah, because also there's something to be said about somebody that keeps coming back. If I never went back for anything, and once people told me no, then I went away. I actually would accomplish nothing, because I'm the kind of person where in the beginning of my career, everybody was just saying no. Perhaps it's because of the time that I graduated, right after 9/11 or whatever, but it really was kind of a blessing to me, because then I learned, okay, yeah, no is not no. It's just not right now. Even if they don't know that, I'm going to come back and I'm going to try again and, do something different. Okay, so let's take a look at your values here. When I look over here, it says 91. I look at the dark area, it says 65. I look at a dark piece of cloth in light, and it says 28. I go to darkness, and it only says 18. Didn't actually change that much. Then we go over here, and this is 95. And then over here, it goes to like 44. Okay, so again, this is what we want to do if we're going to paint over something with a lot of contrast all over it. First thing we want to do is kind of neutralize a lot of this contrast, so that we can paint it back out. And I'll just do that here. Okay, I'm just going to try to bring back the base colors without the light, so the ambient light is around. Okay, and also we want to think about the silhouette, of course. We're not really talking about that kind of stuff at this moment, but if I was, I'd be like, this bow is very close to that knee. And I'm not too into that. Okay, and then the gold here, I'm going to just turn down the gold everywhere. It can get a little distracting. All right. Oh, by the way, everybody, mark your calendars, September 11th to 13th. That's when Lightbox Expo online will happen. And all of you can actually make it this time, because we're doing it online. and there will be hundreds of guest artists presenting and things like that. Yes. What was that?
Can I ask how does Lightbox online system works?
Sure, I'll tell you a little bit because there's things that we want as surprises, nice surprises later on, closer to the event. But I can tell you this: this is our gift to to the art community. The price currently, well, whatever the price is, you pay what you are capable of paying. And if you are not capable of paying anything, then you can choose 0 and just pay nothing and still come in. Those are the people that I feel need it even more, are the people that are going through financial difficulties during this crazy time, because we're really we're going to make something positive that weekend where it's just all the artists come out and kind of support each other, shine the light on each other. That's the idea. So it's going to be a really great, positive event where people can kind of become normal again for a weekend.
Oh, wow. That's really wonderful. Thank you so much, Bobby.
Oh,
Bobby?
Yes. Hi.
Hi, it's Abee. I was the one that did the character model.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
I was trying to get you to hear me earlier. I just wanted to ask, one, is this being recorded?
It is.
And also,
and everybody's going to get the PSD files as well. Okay, I'm going to have my team send everybody these paint over files as well.
Oh, cool. And also, too, when you're done with this one, I have a question in terms of modeling. Do you give any advice or in terms of modeling, lighting, or texturing?
From a visual standpoint, not from a technical standpoint.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, from a visual standpoint.
Yeah, totally. So this is my little draw over on the design of this person.
Yeah, because I didn't put the reference because it was based off of someone else's drawing. I probably should have put up the reference next to it, but yeah.
Either way, I've worked on a bunch of projects where it was based off of an existing project, right? Like Alice in Wonderland, or recently that Scooby movie, Smurfs, whatever. I still stand by my revisions because I didn't really change.
I know you do. I'm just wondering if I should have put up the
anything
That's what I was
helps.
thinking about.
Anything helps, Abee. Yeah.
Yeah, but thank you so much for the review, though.
Oh, my pleasure. It was really nice to see, and it's a very cool character.
Bobby?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I have a question about the portfolio submission.
Okay.
About how to, can I submit it multiple times, or does it just get go in the spam?
This is the last portfolio review for a little bit. Okay, I'll try to pick this back up in a couple weeks, but currently I'm about to kind of go dark and just work for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, Lightbox Expo online, it's gonna very quickly come, before we know it. So I'm just doing that, and I'll have to probably keep doing that for a while.
Hi, Bobby.
Hi.
So I have talked before in your previous. I'm Anis Karan.
Wonderful. Hi. Nice to hear from you.
So I would like some suggestion on 2-point lighting in a night stormy sky. Actually, on a particular image that I have done. If you could just
2-point
look over
lighting.
after this.
Actually, I have about 5 minutes left. So this is the last review that I'll be doing.
No, means you don't have to paint over. I just want some suggestion like that. If you can.
Let's see where we're at after this.
Okay.
Is
okay,
that
sir.
cool?
Okay.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So from here, we have this version, okay, and I'm gonna actually make it slightly darker, because I'm like, it doesn't really feel that dark enough. I feel like some values are missing. So let's try out, what I was saying before. We're gonna change the colors too, right? So I'm gonna make it blue, I'm gonna make it dark, and then I'm gonna turn down the opacity for this layer. And now she looks like she's in the dark. Right, and from here I can inverse my layer mask and it goes back to normal, and I just paint in white into my layer mask, right? And it doesn't matter that much if it's the right color, because that part is so adjustable. Right now, this is about painting in the shadows into areas where they belong. Okay. So here we go. I'll try to do this quick so I could get to that other one after this. Okay, but wherever I'm putting this, you can feel like, yeah, it's like this blue shadow. And that should be pretty nice. I knew my spacing was weird. I generally keep my spacing at 25%, just in case anybody wants to know. Okay, and a little bit of shadow there. I'm gonna just put it all over this area because this is the side of the face that goes into the dark. Put a bunch here. Maybe there's a bit of a drop shadow there. Lighting. Okay, wherever the shadows are supposed to be. And then after that, we can do the exact opposite. We can make an adjustment layer. And we could do hue and saturation again if we like. Could do something a little bit simpler. Do curves. Well, not necessarily simpler, but just different, so we can kind of see different ways. Right, and look how shapely this is coming out. So it doesn't take much. It just takes the right little subtle moves most of the time, and then all of a sudden it changes the whole image and takes it to kind of like a different place. I'm gonna light this stuff back up. Right, and this. I'll go on to another question here. I'm terrible with perspective, especially when drawing straight lines, and measure scale of each object and character. Is it okay to draw rough lines, then refine it at final? Yeah, totally. Can you demonstrate, give any tips on how to draw in scale? Probably won't have any time. But yeah, like rough lines. Are you kidding? If it's digital, absolutely. Like you can take away all this stuff if you don't like it in the end. Brighten up that arrow, or the back of the arrow a bunch.
Bobby, is it okay if I ask one more quick question? It's
Sure.
just, so do you have any tips on how to expand connection or try for
Yeah.
putting your foot into the industry during this kind of time?
Oh,
Since you also went through a very
Yeah.
low point when you graduated.
I know, right? Yeah, I remember I remember graduating, and some people got jobs. I didn't. And after a bunch of days, after I think maybe a couple weeks, I started to feel kind of sorry for myself. And
I
then,
feel you.
right? And then I went to the grocery store one day and I saw a friend and she was like, yeah, a bunch of us are gathering together at so and so's apartment, and, you know, just kind of hang out. We all didn't get jobs. Do you want to come hang out? And then I did. And then while I was hanging out there, I got a call and I got a job. And I was so
What?
excited. And then I realized, oh my God, I'm saying all this stuff right in front of my friends that didn't get jobs. And I felt horrible, just horrible. But it was a pretty crappy job, so maybe they don't need to feel that bad. See that? So then we're just taking this and just kind of bringing those tones much closer together to each other, the ones in the darkness and the ones in the light. And then all of a sudden it kind of unifies into this. Okay? And, shoot. Unfortunately, I'm like already past my time and my schedule is absolutely insane leading up to Lightbox Expo. So I can't get to that next one, but I will try to do this again. Okay, everybody? Thank you so much for handing in your stuff. It was amazing to see so many incredible pieces.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Wow.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Well, have a wonderful rest of your day. And
Thank you. You too.
hopefully, yeah, hopefully we can do this again. All right.
Sure.